Watch Our Schools is werk wat wij doen, eigenlijk heel letterlijk, kijken naar scholen. Wat wij gezien hebben is dat een hele grote groep kinderen die niet naar school kunnen, zijn kinderen die in conflictgebieden leven. Dus dit richt zich heel erg op waarom kunnen kinderen die in een land of een regio leven waar een conflict is, waarom kunnen ze niet naar school? En wat kunnen we daaraan doen? En dat is eigenlijk wat dit project is. Watch Our Schools is erop gericht om eigenlijk regeringen en legers bewust te maken van, joh, let erop, ga nou niet in zo'n school zitten. Ga nou een ander gebouw gebruiken of een andere plek of maak een tentenkamp. Maar probeer op hele praktische wijze eraan bij te dragen dat legers niet scholen gebruiken voor militaire doeleinden. En dat ze niet op scholen schieten. Ja, klinkt heel simpel, maar helaas is het nodig. De bijdrage van de Postcode Loterij voor het project Watch Our Schools is ongelooflijk belangrijk. We hebben 1 miljoen gekregen, dus daar zijn we heel erg dankbaar voor. Dat betekent dat we 2 jaar lang ons werk op dit project kunnen doen. Dat houdt in dat onze mensen over de hele wereld onderzoek doen naar militairen die scholen gebruiken, waardoor kinderen niet naar school kunnen. En naar gevallen waarbij scholen zijn aangevallen door militairen, waardoor kinderen ook niet meer naar school kunnen.
So the research was about attacks on schools in the northeast part of Nigeria, basically covering 3 states, but the attacks have also happened in another part of the north. It's in the northwest, a town called Kano. In all, we have documented at least 910 schools destroyed in attacks. Another 1,500 have been forced to close. This has left close to 1 million children to be out of school in that region. Hassan's story is a heartbreaking one. He was a 14-year-old boy in 2014 November when an insurgent disguised as a student stood among he and his fellow his classmates at school assembly ground very early in the morning. But the disguised insurgent had a school bag, and that attracted some of the other children, and they wondered, it's against the school rule because they were in a conflict environment to have a school bag there. They had also had fears about a suicide bomb attack. And so this, for some of the children, it erased their curiosity, and they asked the suicide bomber, why are you here with your bag? And they attempted to take the bag from him. For many of them, including Hassan, who wasn't close enough to realize there was any problem, the only thing they knew was the sound. For Hassan, he said he didn't even hear a sound. He just saw that everything went up in black smoke. He found himself flung to a corner of the assembly ground, and then he crawled beneath a car. He then noticed that legs were moving around, and he saw his school teacher. He called out to him, but apparently the teacher couldn't recognize him because he'd been totally blackened by the smoke. And then when they realized there was a child under the car and brought him out, he tried to stand up. He realized that his legs couldn't support him. His legs had been badly damaged in the explosion when the suicide bomber let off the bomb. He was taken to hospital. That was when they realized how bad the injuries were. His left leg was amputated. The second leg was in such a bad shape that for 1 year, he still could not stand on that leg. And so for him, while his other classmates who were similarly injured were able to, with 1 good leg, to walk with crutches, he couldn't do that. He had to be carried for everything by his father, which meant that throughout that period, he couldn't get into school. And when I spoke to him, the one thing he said was that for me, it is important that I get back to school because education is the only way that I can keep out of groups like Boko Haram. He said, I think that the reason why they're doing what they're doing is because they don't have education. And thankfully, with the help, of good people around the country, he was able to get a wheelchair and just return to school this January, more than 1 year, more than 14 months after he had suffered that gruesome attack. When as many of those children as possible get back to education, and when those who would not before now, like I said, historically in that region, children generally do not attend Western style schools. And then Boko Haram's teachings discourage and threats and attacks discouraged even more children. If we can get many more of those who would probably never have gone to school into school at this time and breaching, those years of loss that they have suffered, because of the attacks, getting them back into the system to try to catch up with their peers across the country and across the world. I think for us that would be the success. And of course, getting the military to stop using schools for military purposes.